Hello and welcome to another tutorial of Learning Simplified. In this tutorial, we are going to discuss on some selector names and a cut-through analysis on a pivotal role of CSS, that is the margin and padding, which must be understood well. But before that, we need to recap that we have learned about external CSS so far. Now if we go to our project, as we have seen through, an HTML page can use the style attributes that is written onto a different page. This is the different page which is known as stylesheet.css. This stylesheet.css is linked to index.html, that is to the main site. Now writing those properties to a different page and linking it to the site, the concept has some better prospects. Now the advantages of using these style attributes written on a different page and linking it to the main index.html or the main page are no styling in the main page. As we can see that truly we will be seeing through when we will be building up our setting up the dimensions, and we will be using the block elements instead of these tables over here, present over here, this sort of tables that we have used so far, the mother table which will be replaced by the blocked element that we have used in case of writing the tagline, writing down the tagline over here, such as over here, that was used over here. We will be seeing that all these properties which is written in the main HTML page, those will be replaced by the stylesheet.css, where each and every properties will be depicted, and this style sheet, these properties, these attributes, those will be linked to the main index.html, and it will contain no further properties as it is now. So as no styling in the main page, this is a crucial factor. It reduces the file size of the main page and in turn results into faster loading. That means it increases loading speed of the site, decreases the loading time of the site, and this could enhance your site ranking. This is a major crucial factor and major beneficiary factor so far. Now all styling documents are written on a single place, so it will be relatively easier to find the method, class name or ID name and make amendment to it. As we can multi-attach a single .css file, that means this is the style sheet here, and suppose we have created and suppose that we have created some more pages over here into your website, such as this about us.html or portfolio.html or readme.html or contact us.html. So if we use multi pages in our site, those things could be used to this stylesheet.css, and due to this multi-attach facility of multiple pages into a single stylesheet.css file, if we want to make a particular amendment to a single property, that change will be reflected in every related pages. Now another thing is shorter description, easy and organized code which is easy to remember. Now as we were talking about CSS, we must understand the concepts of selector, properties and values. Now let's get back to our stylesheet.css, and here we will see that a .tag holder class name has been created over here. As we are now aware of the command .tag holder, this dot presents the class name. If there was a hashtag, that would have represent an ID. So instead of using the ID name over here, I was just using the tag name. I was just using the class name, which is a .tag holder. Now this tag holder, this name represents the selector name. This width, this background, text align, all these things, those things represents the properties, and all these properties come along with some values. Like here we have depicted this width 600 pixels, background CCC, hashtag CCC, text align center, and all these things together, these properties and these values, they are separated by a separator each time. Now when we have our own names like tag holder on any of these sort of things, all we need to mention the class or ID. Whenever we are actually using this class name over here, whenever we are creating our own selector name over here, all we have to do, we have to mention the corresponding class name or ID name. This is a must to do thing. But if we used default selectors, so what are these default selectors? Actually, these things in HTML page like this, or as you can see here, body, table, tr, td, div, everything, these sort of things, those are actually the default selector that we were talking about. So if we use this default selector such as HTML, body or asterisk, now asterisk is an universal selector which selects every tag present in HTML. No such class or ID should be needed while mentioning the default selectors over here. That means whenever we are using, as we can see here, we are using this default selector such as HTML. This is another default selector such as body. This is a created selector name, and that is why it needed a class or ID name. But here we can see that while using the default selector HTML and body, these things they never do require any kind of class or ID attribution over there. And the same thing goes for the universal selector. If we use a universal selector such as this one, this is known as the universal selector, and it in general selects the whole page actually. So if I mention any property over here, that property will become a default value. For the time being, I am not using any kind of value of property over here.